Okay, I thought I was recording that whole time for almost a minute talking, and I thought I was nailing it, but I wasn't recording. So here we go again. Okay, folks, this is Manny, aka, well, actually, it's Emmanuel, aka Manny, and I'm here to talk to you guys about a very serious subject right now. Okay, wait, don't leave. Psych, I'm kidding. It's not that serious, but it is serious because it has to do with taking life too seriously. Now, from what I've understood and seen and witnessed, many people's problems mentally, spiritually, whatever, it all ties in together, right? So really it's just, if you feel something mentally that is like bringing you down, you feel real deep depression or sadness, I think it is important to feel that to the best of your ability, but when it becomes like a regular thing and you're feeling low and down and depressed all the time, and you can't get out of bread, can't get out of bread. I'm at a bakery right now, guys, so excuse my language. When you can't get out of bread for extended periods of time, like up to a month, like that's, you got to start worrying about that a little bit. Like, and I don't mean freak out, I just mean you got to start taking that into consideration and maybe be a little serious about it. But aside from situations like that, if you are just the type of person who's struck by regular human sadness from time to time, and it feels shitty, you know, it sucks, but then it passes shortly after, that's not real clinical depression, okay? That's just a natural thing that humans go through and feel. And before I get lost on a tangent, I'm basically just here to make this video to remind everybody that clinical depression is, I don't exactly know what it is, but it's basically when a neural pathway is like hijacked or broken, and it is now unable to produce these feel-good chemicals in your brain, or it's not able to launch them the same way as if you had a normal healthy brain, and so therefore you're not releasing enough serotonin, if you will, dopamine, oxytocin, which is a result of connection, as far as I know, being close to other living beings, preferably humans, because most of us are humans. But this oxytocin chemical, if you look into it, it sounds very similar to a drug called OxyContin, and I don't think that's any coincidence, because once again, if you do a little bit of research, you might discover something. So I just wanted to fit in this little quick talk just to like help bring awareness and hopefully help wake somebody up to what's going on out here, and how the powers that be, the doctors, the government, big business, etc., you know, they're all in bed together, whether they realize it or not. I don't care if you agree with me or not. I know what it is. I've observed and I've learned a lot through reading and through just living my life and watching and looking and seeing what's going on. So yeah, they're in place for a particular reason, and I'm thankful for the healthcare system, because I had a real serious shoulder problem where my shoulder would slip right out of the socket, and that was some of the most excruciating physical pain I've ever endured. But I went and got the surgery, and it took a long time for me to recover, but I feel like my shoulder is back now and it's not going to dislocate. And let me wrap this up real quick. It's the same message that I've been told to share with the world around the beginning of COVID, and I knew it deep within myself before then, but then I forgot. But the message is that if you are here now, alive and breathing, deep inside of you, somewhere around your heart, or just your whole body in general, but your mind and your heart is what I was going to point out the most, because those are very powerful organs in your body. If those are in alignment with the truth, which is that you are a sacred and divine creation, and then you take the steps to live in accordance with that reality, your suffering will be greatly reduced. And that's not to say there won't be any suffering, okay? But I'm just telling you, your suffering will be greatly reduced if you can manage to do that. And I understand that there's complicated issues, okay? Life is not black and white. It can get complex out here. I've seen it with my own eyes, okay? Own eyes. And, but sometimes too much complexity can really like push a person down and kind of like break them almost if they allow it. So for me, myself, I had to realize that I had a very complex mind, a deep thinker, you know, raised in the ways of the deep thinkers. But at some point, it was starting to cost my sanity. So it became very clear to me that I got to simplify my life. You know, I got to get more into my body. Salutes to my dad, because he's always been telling me that. And I don't know, I didn't believe it enough. But as you grow older, you live in this physical reality where if you don't take care of yourself, it shows through your flesh and your mind, you know. And so the number one thing is to take care of yourself in accordance with the reality that you are a divine and sacred creation created by the Most High God, the power and the force and the energy that brought all of this into fruition. And you know what? I could be an arrogant, ignorant asshole, pardon my language, but it could have been multiple beings, you know, working alongside with the Master of Masters to bring this all into fruition. In fact, I think it was. But again, I'm a human being. I only know so much. I got a puny brain, even though sometimes it feels like it's so big it might just blow my skull apart. Yeah, so I love you all very much, and things have happened to my friends in the past where words and gossip and rumors were spread, and then my so-called friends chose to believe that because, you know, the way I dealt with it probably wasn't ideal. I could have done things differently, but I was really just speaking my truth, and I got persecuted for it. And, you know, I tried to remind myself, you know, blessed are those who are persecuted in my name. What Jesus said was, if you follow my teachings, the world and many people of the world will shit on you and you know, kick rocks at you. And you just can't worry about that. As long as you are standing in the truth. Listen, we all have little inner teachers within us. It's our job to tap into that and listen. And this world is loaded with distractions, trying to distract you from doing that. But that is just really what it is. And if you can take minimum 5 minutes a day, actually probably more like 10. And if that's too much, you know, lower it a bit. If you got to start at 1 minute, just like whatever. But the point is to start low and slow and then grow. Okay? So you sit in silence with no distractions, and you follow your breath if you find yourself getting distracted. But you'll notice thoughts will come in as you're sitting there meditating. Some days maybe not as much as others, but they will come in, and you just have to practice to learn to watch those thoughts instead of latching onto them. Okay? This is old news, I know, I'm just repeating myself, but I just feel like more and more people need to hear it, because if the spirit realm is real, which it certainly appears to be, then this is very important, like to remember to sit still with yourself and with your God and let that God speak to you from within. It's not like this booming voice coming from way up in the sky. You know, there might be some occasions, rare occasions where that happens. I'm not going to deny it, but there's a small still teacher deep within us, and it's unique to our journey, and it is there to help us and guide us. And I just wanted to say that because I love you all very much, and I know a lot of you are going through a lot of shit, and life doesn't seem like it's worth living sometimes. But let me tell you what, if you're still here and you're still breathing, you are supposed to be here. So feeling like a psychedelic pirate. I got the Guatemalan sun hat on right now. Shout out to Guatemalan Stove Project, Tom Clark, and all the foe involved in that. I might do it next year. Who knows? It's all in God's timing, you know? I'm not about forcing things. I'm about making things happen, taking the steps towards it. But when you start forcing things and then that stress becomes a result of that, All right. Love y'all. Peace.